A warm greetings to all my viewers, and I'm so happy to have with me two guests who are distinguished guests, who are not on all major advertisements, but they have been doing quite a lot of work for the underprivileged women for quite for a few decades, and they both go back a long way. I don't want to name the organization because I want them to have the credit and tell them about their organization and their services. Please, madam, you can continue.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mr. Pari Bhaskar. It is extremely wonderful what you're doing. And let us congratulate you on this venture and your NGO activities first.
Thank you.
And we are an organization called ANU, Association for Non-Traditional Employment for Women. And we have Anu, Dr. Anna Lakshmi, but I call her Anu, and I think she prefers to be called Anu Chandran. Anu Chandran will now give us a brief about how we started, because she is the founding member who is still on the board and continuing to help us through this journey. So Anu, you could give a small briefing on how you started it, and after which I can give a brief about the courses that we run.
Please, I'm so happy.
Thank you, Venu, and thank you, Mr. Pari Bhaskar. I'm very honored to be speaking on behalf of NU here today. This idea of helping out young educated women to find jobs so they can become independent and confident individuals came to the minds of our founder members, Mr. and Mrs. M.K. Kumar, Mr. Ravindran, and Mrs. Vatsala Ramakrishnan, way back in 1997. At that point of time, these young underprivileged women had no means to go in for any further education, nor they wanted to pursue doing what their parents were doing, nor they could find jobs for themselves for the lack of any kind of skills. So that was then this idea took shape in the form of NU. NU, like Vinodni already mentioned, stands for Association for Non-Traditional Employment for Women. Those days, around 25 years back, this very idea of the courses that we do at NU was non-traditional. It was mainly imparting vocational skill training to the most deserving beneficiaries of the society, completely free of charge. And I, being a family friend, was asked to join in. And that is how my association with this organization begins. We started in a very small way from a small garage with 10 folding chairs, an instructor, and a blackboard. And we started on this home nursing project because that was a need of the hour. The people were generally working, both the husband and wife. They found it difficult to manage elderly people at home who were sick, but not, that sick to be hospitalized. They needed people to take care of small children while the women go out for work. And that is how we decided on home nursing. That was something that came naturally to women, and we took that up. So that was way back in 1997. And for 3 continuous years, we operated from the garage. Then later on, we realized that it was time we furthered the activities. And we found a lot of girls who had no aptitude for home nursing, but would like to do some office jobs. And mostly, we took up the girls who have finished high school or college. So we introduced basic IT computers to them. We took up a small flat, rented it out, got some computers donated to us. And that's how our computer journey began. Then later in the year 2005, our most non-traditional and a pioneer project on driving began. we we just took a small batch of girls and taught them how to become chauffeurs, drivers. We feel very proud of it because it's truly non-traditional even today. In about 24 years, we have trained more than, I must say, 13,000 girls. Yeah, and
That
more
is
than 85%
awesome.
of them are employed. More than
That-
85% of them are employed. We have data for
is
that.
awesome.
And also, at any point of time, from the garage to a 2-bedroom flat to a 3,600 square feet building, and now we have our own premises, and we operate from there in Ananagar, which was donated to us through by one Mr. Basil Sellers, who's our prime donor. And then I must say, at any point of time, we have about 225 girls take training every day. We have back-to-back courses running. And I think from here on, Vinodini has been the president for the past 7 years. She's a current president currently. And I think she would be the best person to explain after this. Yeah. Vinu, please take on.
Okay, Toby, even before that, as you rightly said, you have started in garage. The Fortune 500 companies like Apple and Microsoft also started in garages. And I think you've already created a history of not trying to change the lives of 30,000 women, which is not an easy job.
13,000, sir.
13,000, which is not
13,000.
not a small number. So I just want to say
So
hats off to
the
your
one thing is that the objective of this organization was to see to it that all the girls who walked in went out with a job after they completed their training with us. That was the objective.
That itself is a success. Yes, please, madam.
Yeah. So like Anu had said, the objective is to move them from an informal sector to a formal sector. That was a main objective. So our tagline is like, you educate a woman, you empower the entire family.
Correct.
Because that is how it is. I mean, there is no denying that. So, and also we say, like, we impart skill, we impact lives, and all those are our taglines, which we try to keep as our guiding objectives. So when we started initially, it was like what Anu said, in a small ways, calling our own people together, putting them into classes, and then getting them to get practical trainings, etc. That is when this whole computer boom was taking place. And that was a time when it was truly non-traditional for that sector to get into the computer, and definitely they would not have been able to afford to pay and join big academies to get the computer knowledge. So that is when this whole computer thing is also come. Today, actually, we are known for our nurses. I think when you Google NU, I think the nursing the course comes up first.
Yes,
that stands out. It's the flagship, and it's continuing. So this nursing has been there from the day one. So it has seen 23 years growth. And for that growth, nothing can be achieved on your own, because definitely we can't do it. So we do the theory part of it. We take care of getting the beneficiaries. We have a committee that does the screening, to do the interviews, to select them, to choose the right candidates with the aptitude of nursing. And most of them come through fantastically. And after that, we finish our theory and all that. And then we send them to our partner hospitals, because the hospitals are so kind enough, so encouraging to open their doors for our girls, and our girls go there to do practicals. Like we have Sundaram Medical Foundation, we have Appa Swami, we have Bone and Joint, we have Apollo. Apollo now, this year, the last year, we saw our girls going to Apollo, and Banyan, and then we have also SCARF, where all together, the girls get geriatric, pediatric, and some mental health, all sorts of things together. So they get a well-rounded, and not only that, after the practicals, an exam is given to them by Sundaram Medical Foundation, and then they get certified. So that certificate is a lifelong certificate. And with that, they can get into any job that is required, mostly through us. Why we say mostly through us? Because we'd like to ensure they go to safe homes. because they are there with the patient the whole day, and we like to ensure their safety also.
Correct.
So we,
Absolutely.
through us, and by now word of mouth and by other searches, we come into the picture and help them to get their placements. The salary is very good. We have enhanced it recently. No. We have made it almost like 10,000 to 11,000 for 10-hour duty for the girls, which otherwise would have been beyond her reach. And it's a very noble and very dignified profession that the girls look forward to. Then we have our computers. Computers we divide according to their education, and that is also all free classes. And like what Anu said is like they are actually from in and around Chennai, schools and colleges, corporation and government colleges, and they of course cannot afford to go and pay and get a computer training program. So we have basic computers, and along with that we have advanced computers, after which they can either get employed or they can come back to us and take the next course that we offer. When I say advanced, it is like Tally. Tally is very popular these days. Like anybody, they won't know any other word in the computer, but they will know Tally. So the Tally is very important. Then there is web designing, and there is, we used to have DTP and all, and we changed it now to e-publishing. And we are now also starting coding, which I can see it all over the Facebook now, the coding language, but we are waiting for this pandemic to help us get into all our plans and to get on with our work. So that is there. And then the other one, the other truly non-traditional path-breaking one is our car driving. And if you have noticed yesterday, yes, in yesterday's Times, there was an article of one Veera Lakshmi, who is a woman ambulance driver in this pandemic ambulances, the COVID ambulances. She's the 108. So she was there, and Anu was so surprised because she said, hey, that is our Veera Lakshmi. But then we had a doubt, and then she called her back, and then we found out that it is our Veera Lakshmi, and we're extremely proud of her. So our girls get trained by us. We help them with license. We send them to Maruti driving school and to other driving schools for them to get their license. After which they come, and we have a car that is donated to us by a corporate, and on that car they train on the road. It is a long process. It just doesn't come easy, because probably the first time they're sitting in a car. Otherwise, normally for, I think, for our children, it might be probably easier, but it's the first time they're sitting in a car. So it takes almost 7 to 8 months for them to, sit in a car and say, na dhairyama na otuve, na adu pannuve, idu pannuve, and although they get very, very motivated. But mostly they go into the valet parking. That was what we trained them for, because then they get, apart from our car, they get other cars too also. And we must thank Nina Reddy and Savera Hotels for helping our girls and training them on the job also at the Saveras. And our girls, after that, they go into the metro, the battery car operation. Yeah. They go to the airport. And now with the opening of the women drivers for Uber and Ola, they've all logged into that also, and they are there. And now, of course, this pandemic times has seen a little drop, and they are all waiting to start and begin again. So we're looking forward to that. So these are the basic courses that we run at NU, and along with it, compulsory we have spoken English, because that is such an important thing for them.
Most important, correct. You're right.
It is compulsory. Then they come with a lot of baggage. They come with a lot, like anyone else. They have their issues to handle. So we have self-awareness, we have counseling, we have professional counselors to come and sit at NU for anybody to go and share their problems, because they do have a lot of issues that
problems mostly are drunken husbands, actually.
What is a major problem?
I tried to make it less, and Anu just Anu gave it out.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That is the most important factor.
We know about the course certification.
Yes, and the computer course is like how the home nursing course I mentioned, Sundaram Medical and a whole line of hospitals. In the computer course, we have the NIIT Foundation that is certifying. Yeah, they give an online exam for the girls, and they certify the girls. So the girls get an NIIT certificate along with their NU certificate, that one. And the driving, of course, we have Maruti Foundation that gives us a subsidized license to procure license. They give us a subsidized thing. And we also have with other like Savera Hotels and other hotels. Parveen Travels has also trained a few girls in this forklift and things like that. So we do, like I said, we can never achieve anything on our own. Somebody should be there to help us and to network together and see all the courses through.
Right.
I'm so amazed at the variety of services and the reach of to the people. I think if I could rightly say, if an underprivileged girl walks into ANU, she becomes a metamorphosized woman with a complete requirements all being suited up like completely I would say what do you call it, completely equipped for a new journey of life to take care of her. As they say, you teach a man, he teaches another man. You teach a woman, she creates a generation. I think you all are doing a wonderful job. Hats off to you. And now,
it's not only us. It is not only the two of us. We are a group of 9 women actually. Wow. And together from the day one, we have been together. We have we have our own duties to perform, and we have divided ourselves into subcommittees. And we meet once or twice a month, but we are there every day in the office. And under us, we have wonderful, wonderful staff members who are actually the pillars. Because see, we are there, we call ourselves the committee members, and below us we have the managers, and then we have the teaching staff, and then we have the office staff. So it is run clockwork like an institution, and it is their work actually which has seen ANU through all these 23 years of work. So
it is evident in the results you are producing. Unless otherwise you have a completely cohesive, a dynamic, and a unique team, I don't think this is possible. So having traveled so far, and you still have a big journey ahead. What I would like to know is, what does this 4.5 months of pandemic and lockdown, how was it impacted ANU? And what is that you all?
You want to go, Anu? You want to say?
Yeah, the main challenge we faced during this pandemic is because the girls couldn't commute to work. That is one big challenge. See, as I told you earlier, we tried to place all the students that come in. From entry to exit, we have only one objective and one aim, and that is to see to it that she gets a job. So when, with so much of hard work and input, we tried to place the girls, and they were all working. They got laid off, they couldn't commute to work, and I'm sure most of them would have got laid off because of this pandemic.
Correct.
It's a big challenge now we are going to face. And for our home nursing girls, like they go to houses to work as nurses. Now they couldn't also commute. They wouldn't have got their salaries, because for one, the commuting. The other one is that people don't encourage outsiders to come in and work for them.
Correct.
So they've all got laid offs. That is our biggest worry now from here on.
The other thing is,
tell me.
And the other thing is when the government declared closure. So we come under the institutions, and we had to do that. Was sometime in March. So March 20th, 18th or 20th. 18. And then all our courses came to a halt overnight. And for about 2 weeks, we were just thrown into the sea. We didn't know what to do, and we didn't have any means of contacting our girls to find out. Most of them couldn't top up their phones. But nothing could be done. But I must say here that we swung into action, as they say, and we got all our teachers on calls and conference calls, and everybody came together, and we made a plan. So from that day onwards, say sometime it took like after the New Year.
About a month.
We got into action. We got all the contact numbers, formed WhatsApp groups. The teachers called back all the students. We helped them with recharging and top up and etc. And they started classes. they started the online computer classes, and we are so proud that the teachers have done extremely well, and they have finished 3 NIIT exams from their houses, from the phones.
Oh, that's
With the
wonderful.
phones.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
and
must say that
we also got that new batches, no, we know through.
Yeah. True, and NIIT has taken us as an example for the phone exams.
That is
Yeah.
wonderful. That is
We're
wonderful.
very, very proud of that. We're very proud of that. And then,
No,
of
and
course,
another.
our committee
Sorry.
also started interviewing, because we went back to the office, got our files, we brought them home in different places, started calling the girls, arranged online interviews, because our committee does the interviewing. They started doing online interviews, started fresh batches of computers as well as nursing. So we thought we'll finish the nursing theory and be ready. So as soon as the hospitals open the doors for us again, we'll go back. We'll go back and start.
And with the computer classes, we have this challenge because they don't have laptops, and most of them don't have smartphones. So that's a big challenge we face. Yeah, because they're all from underprivileged families.
Very true.
And we know, please explain that kits that we distributed.
Oh yes,
relief.
that was the early stages of this lockdown.
Okay.
It was really pathetic and heart wrenching, because the girls were suddenly without any income whatsoever, and most of our girls, like Anu mentioned earlier, are sole breadwinners. They and the children's everything depends on them. And a few of our girls called us back saying that their children have tested positive and have been taken. Those were the early days when it was a shaking news for us. So then we got these network, and we must say that lot of helping hands, lots and lots. Like you say, Mr. Pari Bhaskar, you say that there are unsung heroes. We have seen those unsung heroes this COVID time, because they readily came forward. They said, what would you like? Either you would like bags of provisions, or would you like us to deposit money directly into their accounts? So that was motivating for us. So we got almost like some 300 bags of provisions, and we called one by one. We would call one by one to our homes and pack it and send it away, so that they don't meet each other and they keep the safe distance. And then we have transferred 5,000 rupees online to about 180 girls, all through our well-wishers. All our well-wishers and people who just came forward. So they are the unsung heroes of COVID, actually. COVID warriors.
Correct. You are absolutely right.
For us, they are, yeah.
I know, but I think so. This is exactly the objective of this video, for people to know that there are a lot of people. You may not know, like probably your neighbors. Oh, this madam, she's been doing a lot of to that level. You all are so humble. You keep it to yourself. We would like you to be seen, not for your sake, at least for the others. Try to emulate and see what best can they do. I mean, I'm sure they cannot do it to your extent, because you all are established and you've been doing it in a methodical and a systematic manner for so long. But probably they can take your ideas and inputs and do whatever is possible. Having said that, I would like to know what will be the takeaway for the future generation of youngsters with these smartphones. Though they are also equally very intelligent, and they have been doing a lot of their bit to the society as a COVID relief. What else, or what can be added along with that for them to still blossom into much more better human beings?
Actually, Anu, I think we will agree with this, that 50% of the donors who came forward to transfer the money were below 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Below 30, yes.
Yeah,
they were.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they were so keen, and they spread the word for us.
Correct.
And they were all below 30. So that is a very, a very motivating, inspiring thing for us, that the youngsters are so involved. And we have a policy in ANU that when any youngster, anybody who wants to walk in and do some voluntary work, we give them any kind which suits them.
No, we give a lot of opportunities for interns. Actually, there are a lot of young boys and girls from colleges who intern with us. So they learn how to be socially impactful. They learn how to work for the society. So there are a lot of interns who pass through NU, isn't it, we know?
Yes,
And
lot
even
of them.
now we do get a lot of calls.
And we have tie-ups with Loyola College, NMIMS, and DG
You remember a
Vaishnav.
big batch that came from Ohio?
Iowa, US, yes, yes, from
Yes.
US we did have a whole batch of,
Yeah.
of youngsters come, and they were with us for almost 2 weeks, and we had a group coming from England also, the 2 girls who came to work with us.
Right.
But we encourage them because it is for them. The future is theirs. So they do anything. They do spoken English, and or they help us with our website, or they do some newsletters for us, or they even clean our premises. They help us to file and everything. So they come over there, they do, and we encourage them. We encourage. Chennai volunteers send their young volunteers sometimes to help us with some campaigning that we would like to do. Go door to door, hand out pamphlets. That is all the work that they go to colleges. Some of our young volunteers go to colleges, speak on behalf of NU, give us a feedback. What is the percentage of the underprivileged girls that study in those colleges? They give us feedback, data, everything they do for us. So they can be encouraged, and I'm sure. See, they are busy. They are busy in. There was a time when I think Anu will agree with me, where we were at the same stage where our children were grown and we wanted to do something more, and that is when we got together. But these days, I think they start young. They start young. They have ideas all fixed. Only thing they need to get a little direction, probably a little direction to know what and a lot of companies, a lot of corporates encourage volunteering. They encourage volunteering. So we do
get credits
employees
from the college also, no? They get
college.
Credits from the college also.
Correct.
So they do come. So we
And
have volunteers from corporates who come and do mock interviews and job readidness programs, grooming, all that they come and do because and they are all young employees who are doing extra work during their working hours.
We have a buddy program for them, no? We know buddy program. Where they are buddies with the girls.
Yeah, they can
Another
choose.
thing, sorry.
So I think
another thing that Mr. Paribhaskar, the one thing that we would like, our dream, the committee, we feel that every state have to have an organization like NU to be helping out all the women there in their particular states. Now, we can't be going and establishing ourselves everywhere. That's not possible. Sure. But we would, we are very willing to mentor them. Like if anybody wants to start an organization somewhere, something like NU on similar philosophy, can definitely approach us, and we are all willing to help them out
I'm very, very sure that the people watching this will definitely be approaching NU. And NU will not be new to others going forward. It be well known. I think I saw your website, and it's a pretty impressive website with real, meaningful content, with so many success stories, which all are women. I think this is the most important factor. Because even a man is shaped by women. I am here because right from my mom, my sister, a whole lot of women. So I'm so happy to have been with you for all this time, and to hear the lovely, heart-melting stories, which are so true, and which is very evidently seen in your from the passionate way you're been explaining. Like you're so convinced, and the conviction is already seen, and which I'm sure the other 7 people will also be in the same way. And I take this opportunity to thank you again. Out of the 9 unsung heroes, only 2 I am able to show. The rest of the 9, I'm sure all these viewers will come and visit. I'm so happy, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.